I saw someone.
All right. Oh, is there? Nice. All right. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Decred Assembly. I'm your host, and today we are joined by Boxmining. Today, and we'll get into that in a minute, but first I want to start out by talking about today we have a big celebration. Our first hard fork vote has passed, and also support for Lightning Network. So 2 on-chain votes that were voted by our stakeholders for the past month. That vote has concluded, and those are now locked in and ready to go. So if you're currently running the older software, you should upgrade to the newest version of the software in order to not get booted off the network when it activates in about 8,000 blocks. So that's really exciting. And in the DCR stats, we can see the stats that happen. So for the new staking difficulty algorithm, looks like 85% of all the votes said yes, that were abstained, and 2% that were no. And Lightning Network integration was 76.1% yes, 23% abstain, and 1.1% no, which is awesome. So this is big news for Decred, and yeah, we're really excited about this. So Lightning Network's coming soon. I think Dave Collins is already working on it, and the new staking difficulty stuff will be awesome because that'll really allow these massive ticket price swings to go away. So if you guys look at the last few rounds, the last cheap round was about 50.25, and it goes up significantly to 140 DCR, 192, 130, and then finally back down. I think right now it's at like 47. Yep, 47.98. So, all right. Well, today on the show, we have Boxmining, who runs his own YouTube channel, and he makes cryptocurrency videos that explain all various types of cryptocurrencies. He's really good. He spoke about Decred in the past. He's writes about Dash. He writes about Ethereum, Monero. He has a blog post as well. And yeah, we're really excited to have you on the show. How's it going?
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction. So I'm Boxmining. I'm making my own YouTube videos, and I've been doing that for 3 weeks, and it was super fun. The whole reason why I started with this was because I wanted to just learn more about cryptocurrency, and I thought, hey, why not just share what I think and have a conversation with people? And I've been doing that for 3 months, and it's really cool. I actually found it really cool, and it's been super so like a lot of people have been commenting a lot on my channel, so I've been super happy with that, and I'd like to thank anyone here who's watching this. I love having a conversation. That's how to really get into cryptocurrency in the first place. If you just sit there by yourself and you're reading, you're not going to get much information. But once you start talking to people and hear different thoughts that people have, then that's going to be the best way to start. So if you guys are interested in my channel, yeah, youtube.com/c/boxmining, we're good to go.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's a really great channel. And so you're only 3 months old? I didn't even realize that. Yeah. Your channel's only 3 months old. Wow, that's crazy. I think you have almost 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah. So that was fun few weeks. I was under a lot of pressure to kind of produce content like every day, because I thought, this is super cool. I want to learn more, and that's kind of the flow of things. Just one video or 2 videos every day, and it's 120 videos I think I've made or something crazy like that in 3 months. So
that is awesome. So I guess, so how did you get into crypto? Like what brought you in, and when did you get into crypto?
So I got into crypto back in 2012, and that was during my university days, and I was a big gamer back then. So that year it was big for Diablo 3. I still remember that, and I had this computer just kind of running Diablo 3, and it was good. And I was like, okay, what can I do with this kind of cool graphics card? And I found, hey, you know what? There's something called Bitcoin. You can start mining Bitcoin with your own computer. You can make magic internet money. I'm like, hey, that sounds pretty cool. I'm a broke student. I want to start mining with that. So I got my machine to run it, and luckily I had free electricity, so they were dumb enough to offer included electrical costs. So I was like, okay, if it's free to mine, and I have a computer, why not do it, right? So that's how I started, and then I grew my operation to 3 machines. So I actually just built 4 computers, and I got 3 machines just mining cryptocurrency. That time it was just Bitcoin, and it was possible to mine Bitcoin at that time. So if you look back, and I went back to my pool mining account, I was like, I actually mined 60 Bitcoins out.
Oh man.
And I'm like, I sold it at $15 per Bitcoin. So I think that was my biggest mistake. I think, at that time, people were thinking, okay, Bitcoin's at 10, it's at 10, it's at 10, it's at 10. Suddenly one day it went up to 50, and I was like, okay, boom, sell it all, done. Let's get rid of it.
Did you sell Mt. Gox?
Yes, that too. So so I sold on Mt. Gox, and then Mt. Gox closed down. So that was all wiped out. So I got super depressed about that, And then one day my dad came to me and said, hey, I heard you were doing Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like 1,000 now. I'm just like, oh man, I could have really.
So you sold it and you never got back in?
Yeah, so I didn't get back in until last year. So last year I finally decided, you know what? Interest rates in Hong Kong was like 0.001 or something. So I'm looking at something that I can invest in. Bitcoin was super fun. Let me take a look. So I started last year. I didn't really invest that much. I just did my own mining. I got my rig back again. I was like, okay, I can mine Ethereum. Let's do it. Start mining Ethereum. Then I got into cloud mining. I'm like, okay, that's just like free. It's like money, right? Like let's put some money into cloud mining too. Let's just do various things with cryptocurrency. And then I started doing some YouTube stuff. I'm like, you know what? It's hard to research a lot about mining and cryptocurrency on YouTube. So I was like, okay, I'll just do a YouTube channel. And that's where I am today, after kind of, 6 months down the road. First of just doing it by myself, and now, with my own channel. So.
Yeah, I mean, and your channel is really growing fast. I mean, because I think there's so many people that are really new to crypto that, right. And it's so hard to keep up with everything. Like, I have no idea even what's going on with Casper right now, and I know that's like a huge thing with Ethereum that's going on. And I mean, it's really hard to keep up with everything going on. So that's really awesome that you really kind of spread out, spread the information of everything going on with all the different projects, because it's almost impossible to keep up with.
It's impossible. And initially I thought, okay, if I make a video a day, I'm going to run out of stuff to talk about, and now right now I'm just finding out, okay, I have a whole list of like 30 coins I want to talk about. So no, this is just huge. It's huge.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really, happy that you decided to get back into crypto and Bitcoin and stuff. And it's crazy how profitable like GPU mining is right now. A lot of people don't realize that GPU mining is crazy profitable. Like, I think like a 6-card ETH mining rig is like making like 18 or 20 bucks a day right now.
It is.
Which is just.
It's insane. And also, I went to the computer store today. I was trying to find some AMD GPUs. RX 480s are all sold out. So
yep, they're gone. 470s too, 570s, 580s. There, yep. I mean, I've heard people are going to some of these mining card manufacturers, and they're coming in with like $5 million and saying, "Give me all your cards," and they can't sell it to them. Because they're already back ordered for like months right now. It's just crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
So, so for those that think that mining is still not profitable, you should definitely check out GPU mining. It's still really profitable. You can exchange a lot of coins right now for Bitcoin. I mean, you can mine Zcash, Ethereum, Monero, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so another thing I wanted to ask you, with all the different projects, like, how do you decide like what are scams and what are valid projects? Because that seems like a really questionable topic sometimes in our space.
Oh man, that's gonna be hard because you know, there's so many scam accusations right now in the market. You know, everything's a scam. You know, I talked to my friend
Yeah.
who works at Blockstream, and I'm like, hey, what do you think of Ethereum? He's like, that's a scam. What do you think of Decred? You know, that's a scam. Like everything's a scam but Bitcoin. You know, like then you talk to the Ethereum guys and you're like, okay, everything's a scam but Ethereum. And I'm sure
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Decred, everything's a scam but Decred.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. We try to be really open to other projects. So
Awesome. That's good.
there are definitely some scammy projects out there, but I'm not going to name who's who. But you know,
Yep, exactly. And I
uh,
think at the end of the day, you know, it's a thing with the market. Everyone's trying to trying to come in and doing something, and every project does actually have a kind of an angle that they're going for. So I do try to be a little bit impartial. Of course, I am biased myself, but I do try to open a conversation on my channel. Like, you know, if you guys want to call this a scam, do it. If you guys want to say this is like the best thing ever, do it. But that's the way I kind of kept it. You know, if you even look at things like Monero, and they have such a crazy community, and they'll call anything else with crypto a scam. So, you know, I don't call anything scams anymore. I just leave it. I just try to present both sides, and I'll leave it at that.
yeah, I actually went to the Monero meetup in New York City after Consensus, and I was really surprised like at the positive like take that I got from a lot of the Monero community about Decred, because I even handed out a bunch of Decred shirts that I had left over from
Awesome.
the conference, and everybody was real. And I was like, man, these guys are super skeptical about everything, and some of the people were pretty supportive of our project at least. So, which is pretty interesting because Monero actually have a very similar founder, this anonymous guy on Bitcoin Talk named Taco Time.
All right.
Contributors to Decred as well as Monero.
Oh, really? Because I thought it was mostly Fluffy Pony or something, that guy
Yeah,
was.
so Fluffy is kind of he's one of the core contributors, but he's definitely more of like the spokesperson for
Gotcha.
Monero, I guess.
Gotcha.
But the unofficial spokesperson. So
Oh, cool. That's something cool.
yeah. So I guess, you know, another thing I wanted to ask is, what is what's I mean, you're in Hong Kong, right?
Yes, that's right.
So what's the cryptocurrency scene like in China and Hong Kong? I know Hong Kong is a little bit more of a separate, I mean, separate-ish from China. I mean, recently it's kind of been added back to China, but it's probably still kind of, you know, they're culturally a lot different. But
Yes.
what?
So yeah, so just moving on about that. So Hong Kong is a special region, so it's part of China, but we have a different kind of governance style. So we're a special territory with our own kind of little, kind of politics. Now, politics aside, Hong Kong is very different, and I've been to a lot of the Bitcoin meetups and the Ethereum meetups in China, and in Hong Kong, and it's kind of interesting what sort of crowd it draws, because it draws both kind of the enthusiast crowd and the banking sector crowd. So you see guys in like suits and nicely dressed up, just coming from work, from like, you know, working at the big banks, and you also see guys kind of dressed very casually. You know, they're the kind of business owners or kind of crypto enthusiasts. So it's kind of interesting, and they do have very good chat topics. Last time I think they invited some guys from Silicon Valley to give talks. So there's definitely a very strong community here. And there's actually a lot of kind of local companies doing Bitcoin as well. So we have a company called Anx Pro, they're our own exchange. And we also have a lot of remittance companies here, because they need to send money to Philippines or to Indonesia. So they actually use Bitcoin for that. And there's actually a huge Bitcoin community here. Ethereum as well. There's an Ethereum community. But if you go down the list of other cryptocurrencies, it's not as huge here. Moving on to China, China is actually a very interesting place, because China, it's like a whole ecosystem on itself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, half the mining power and half the transactions for Bitcoin are done in China. So Bitcoin is huge in China. Litecoin is huge in China because Charlie Lee spent a lot of time pushing Litecoin for China, and his brother also runs BTCC, which is a large exchange in China. So there's a lot of dominance for both Bitcoin and Litecoin. There's also basically Ethereum got on this year, just like this month, into Chinese exchanges. It's still trying to rise up in popularity. It's not as popular as it in Korea or whatnot. But I was talking to a lot of different people in China about other cryptocurrencies, alt currencies. And one of the biggest problems is that for news in China, news is mostly covered by Bitmain or Bitmain sponsored places. So you can imagine the amount of propaganda for Bitcoin over there. So Bitcoin is a dominant coin for a very good reason, and you don't actually hear so much about the other coins.
But I mean, with the transaction fees going up so high right now, is it still? I mean, I guess are a lot of people starting to look into Ethereum and I guess Litecoin more now?
A little bit, but like I said, if you guys think Bitmain has this influence in the North American market, in China it is the thing, it is the shits, it controls everything in China. So that's a massive titan gorilla over there. So it's gonna get popular, but yes. But then again, you can think about it. China has a lot of speculation as well. So they don't really trade with Bitcoin. They don't use it as a coin. They just use it for speculation or for storage. So I don't, in that respect, they don't care about the transfer fees. I mean, they just buy a ton of it.
Gotcha. They're just buying and holding on exchanges essentially.
Exactly.
So it hasn't really, I guess, received like big adoption in regards to actually being a payment system.
No, not really. And you're competing against things such as WeChat Pay and Alipay. So these are two big currency titans in China. So one is operated by Alibaba. So if you guys know, Alibaba is the kind of the biggest online retailer in China. They control both the kind of eBay clone, Taobao, and also Alibaba, which is the Chinese kind of market. So they have a currency payment system called Alipay, and that's very, very popular. So we can just scan a QR code and start paying, and there's 0 transaction fees, and it's instantaneous. There's also WeChat Pay. So WeChat is basically a clone of WhatsApp, but they can pay people with it. So if you imagine how convenient that is, I'm like messaging my dad and like, oh, hey, can you he had helped me with a refund, and I'm like, oh, you gotta pay me $1,000. Bank transfer is really hard. Just pay me next time. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna pay you now. WeChat Pay, and just types 3 numbers, and then done deal. I got payment. So you're competing with that, and you're competing with big banks in China that have no transaction fees. I mean, how crazy is that, right? So they have next to no transaction fees for mobile payments. Like basically, the company tanks it all because they're trying to promote mobile payments. I mean, if you think about it, Uber tried to enter the Chinese market. They got all this money from Silicon Valley trying to penetrate the Chinese market, and they got destroyed by the local company Didi Dacha. So just think of how big these Chinese titans are and how much money they're willing to lose. Then you got these crazy payment systems. I mean, even Apple can't break into China. So
yeah, it seems like I don't know. It seems like China's a tough market. It's kind of like trying to break into the German market. Germany is really tough to break into too.
Yeah, but I can try. We're trying, and I'm trying with Dash as well. I'm doing a project with Dash to try to bring Dash to China. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, so are you paid through the Dash kind of proposal system? Or are you?
Yes. Yeah, so
Awesome.
I'm part of the Dash Force project. So that's something cool about Dash as well. They have the proposal system, it's just interesting, super interesting.
Yeah, we actually have a proposal system, I think, going online in the next couple of months.
Oh, awesome!
Soon, yeah. it's going to be all the details yet. We're going to actually be discussing it in a future podcast. It might be next week or after, so don't quote me on that, guys. but similar type of proposal system. And so the dev subsidy that is an R block reward right now. So I don't know how much you know fully about the Decred project. You know, it's a rabbit hole of its own. So, but 10% of our block reward goes into a development subsidy, and that's actually what pays all our contractors right now.
Awesome. Like, when I did research into Decred, I was actually quite surprised at how good the community is. Like, anytime I did something, I was like, "Hey, someone did something," and people were like super helpful, getting anything done. Like, so I was like, I was on the Slack channel, and anytime I asked a question, pretty much I got an immediate answer. So I was super happy with the community, and I think that's one of the strong points about Decred is an active community and a positive community. That's going to be super important in the times ahead. So, and also, of course, the whole system is great, right? I mean, if you think about it, being able to adopt, forks are important. That's how you're going to upgrade, right? That's how you're going to evolve. And with Bitcoin having so many problems, you definitely see something like Decred being very, very important in the future. So, congratulations on Lightning support as well. That's super cool.
Yeah, our so I don't know if you know this, but our devs actually built BTCD or BTC Suite, which is a full node implementation of Bitcoin written in Go. So that's actually the preferred library of the Lightning developers. So our devs just naturally have a really good relationship with the Lightning devs.
Awesome. That's going to be super huge. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, in the future we have proposal system coming, and then we also have a new take on privacy that is going to be different from my understanding of what Monero and Zcash have done.
So it's not based on the two popular algorithms for that, no?
Yeah, exactly. It's we don't know really what Company Zero is planning. So Company Zero right now, they are the core development team behind Decred. So they're also the company that built BTC Suite. And yeah, they are guys are always in the Slack channel if you guys ever want to talk to them. And yeah, it's doing some really killer work. So I think what's going to happen with this privacy stuff is there's a new privacy channel that formed on our Slack channel where they want to have more of a community participation. And then there might end up being like a vote on like which privacy implementation we're going to actually activate.
Awesome.
So, which will be cool. So yeah, if any of you guys are in our Slack channel, it's slack.decred.org, and then go to privacy, and that's where the open discussion about privacy is going on right now.
Awesome. I do have a question for you, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about the stake. So you were talking about earlier, how the stakes fluctuate in price going up and down. See, that was the thing that actually put me off buying a stake in Decred, because I thought, is this trading? Like, I guess the representation of it, without reading more into it, the first thing I saw when I saw that was like, okay, is this like trading? If I buy a 50 and then, if I buy 100 and it goes down to 50, will I get refunded 50? Then I'll lose 50 Decred, right? I'm sure that's not the case, but can you explain to me a little bit more about why the price fluctuates and what's happening there?
Sure, yeah. So what happens is the mempool, or the pool where the proof of stake is pulled from. So every block, 5 votes from the pool get pulled in randomly. And those that pool is trying to maintain like around almost 41,000 votes continuously. So the algorithm, what it does is it changes the price to make it more difficult for people to buy in with new tickets when when that pool size has reached kind of its max. Unfortunately, due to like real world environment, the algorithm wasn't perfect when it was written. What our developers and people from the community have been doing is basically they came up with a new change to the algorithm that doesn't affect anything else except for that staking difficulty algorithm, which we call SDIF. And what it does is it'll allow a more stable price round to gradually increase and change like as fluctuations come in. So what happens is, and maybe I'll share my screen. This might be easier for people out there. 1 second, guys. So, and DCRstats.com is a really good place to check this stuff out. So what you'll see is about every 12 hours, the round changes. I think it's like 142 blocks or something. But what you'll see is when the price drops, that's when everybody buys. So this orange line or yellow line in the back, that's when everybody's buying. So 2,860 tickets were bought during that round. And the next round, like nobody bought 4 tickets. And the round after that, like only 4 tickets were bought, and then 67. And then as soon as it drops again, you get everybody's buying again.
Gotcha. So it's the way it averages out, basically. Like it's it's taking, oh look, it's like it's saying, okay, this is super popular, let me hype up the price, then no one buys and it drops straight down, right? So that's
exactly. It's not doing, I mean, it's doing its job really well, it's just not doing it really well in like when real world circumstances come into play. So you know, and what's really nice about Decred is it didn't have to be perfect from the beginning. You know, now we're able to vote and change the protocol as we need to. So this has been the vote for the past month, is actually how do we fix this problem? So if everybody were to just buy tickets, like not all buy their tickets in one round when it's the cheapest, we would see a much more stable price happen. So there's actually a group of a lot of the big stakers that, you know, started buying tickets when they were more expensive, and they actually kind of stabilized the price for a while, but still the algorithm just wants to take hold, and they needed to make sure that everybody understood what the problem was again. So anyways, so we voted on fixing that, and what will happen is even if you buy a ticket at 140 or 190, like these price changes have nothing to do with you getting your money back. So you will always get your stake back. So if you staked at 140, you just had to lock up, you know, 3 times more tickets from the round, like 3 times as much DCR compared to the last round in order to get the same ticket. So like, if, you know, financially, it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend, you know, because you could have 3 more tickets for, if you would have bought the round before. So that's why everybody buys during these cheap rounds. And the other thing that happens that we see, which is really unfortunate, fee wars. So right now the fees are actually really cheap if you want to buy tickets. But what happens is everybody's trying to buy tickets, especially when the rounds get really cheap here, and you'll see fees go up to like 1 DCR per kilobyte.
Right.
So it's like a it's really unfortunate problem, and all those fees, they don't get even paid back to the stakers, they just get paid to the proof of work miners. So the proof of work miners, their block fees, like during some of these rounds, are like double. like their block reward is like twice as high as it should be. Which is, you know, which is fine, but it really keeps people from wanting to stake, because like, you know, the idea is like, you know, you should just be able to buy in on any round.
Yeah, I mean, this is a clear case of good programming versus gameplay. So I work on video games, so I make video games myself, and there's a lot of kind of these interesting things that happen with gameplay, and a lot of unexpected gameplay. I mean, when the first massive multiplayer online game, so I think that's Ultima Online, came online, people started trolling each other. So like they started, you know, blocking people and locking them up in rooms and doing, you know, generally untoward things onto each other. And the developers thought, you know, why don't we make a bounty system? You know, just like kind of the Wild West. Let's make a bounty system. You know, if this guy is a douchebag, you can put a bounty on his head, and you know that would discourage kind of this douchebaggery. But what happens when they push that on live? They realized this became kind of like a mark of honor. This became a leaderboard, right? People wanted to be more douchebags and get a higher bounty on their head. So it's one of those kind of things where, you know, the actual gameplay from what you expected was completely different. You know, when people got caught onto this Decred meta, you know, this kind of meta of buying cheap and, you know, not buying then, it became kind of what everyone did, and it just made the problems even worse. So I think this is the exact case where, you know, there was good programming, it was thought out, but yet again, human behavior and the Nash equilibrium of that huge behavior, you know, like the kind of what people should get took over, and you can't really defeat that. Like you said, even when people start buying at high and trying to stabilize it, you can't defeat the Nash equilibrium. You can't defeat the meta. That is the meta. You have to change the rules in order for that to progress.
Yeah, and it's one thing that was really cool that I thought is that this was, in my mind, a really polarizing debate, because it really put the proof of work miners against the proof of stakers. And the positive response that we got from the mining community really showed that there's probably, I don't know, either the proof of work miners that do mine Decred, they either don't care about Decred and dump it on the market, or they actually do see the benefit long term of this, because short term their profits are probably going to go down, but long term what we should see is there'll probably be more coins staked, which will lock up, which if demand keeps increasing, then price should keep increasing as well. But they should also get more consistent returns on their mining, because the other thing we saw is proof of work miners, they would just mine in these rounds when everybody's buying tickets, because it makes so much more sense to mine. And that really affected our block times from day to day. On average, we're still at 5-minute block times. Our difficulty retargeting is about the same as our round time. So it's a cool project, and it's really cool to be able to see how this stuff is going to be able to change and move forward in the future. So
yeah, and thank God you guys have the proof of stake guys and not just the miners voting. No offense to miners. Bitcoin's been suffering from that problem for a long time. Miners will always act in the best interest of miners, and if they can create a time, even a shorter time where everyone wants to buy stuff and they can benefit more from it, why not, right? You see in Ethereum when the ICOs are hitting Ethereum, the transaction fees are just insane, right? If it's up to the miners, they would do that, and it's the correct thing for everyone to act in their best own interest. So that's why having kind of this proof of stake voting system is actually very valuable, because you want the average user to have a say. So I'm glad you guys managed to change that with a hard fork, especially. Hard forks are not backward compatible, and those cost so much drama. Just congratulations for that. That's great.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, and it's I don't know, the whole thing has just been I don't know, I think as soon as people catch on and they realize that basically BIP 148 and UASF is just a really kind of crappy implementation of almost going against the network in the way that what Decred has built is kind of built at the protocol level.
Exactly.
People in the Bitcoin community kind of realize that eventually.
But yeah, USFF, user activated soft fork is really I don't know, it's playing chicken with the miners, right? It's essentially that's what they're doing. If we're not gonna jump, let's collide. Let's hope one of you guys jumps and to us. You really don't want to go to that stage, and they're risking a chain separation, that's the worst thing you can get, every time. And once you have one of those, in the future you might have more, and people are going to be so confused. Even when I first started,
especially new Bitcoiners, they're going to be like, well,
yeah, what's this Bitcoin and Bitcoin Classic, and what's this Bitcoin Unlimited? What is happening? When I first started back to mining and looking at Ethereum, I was just like, what's Ethereum Classic? I have no idea what that is. Should I invest in Ethereum or Ethereum Classic? The whole naming thing's messed up, and that's not cool. Never been ever cool. So I'm glad you guys I'm glad Decred really has that, and that's why I actually have quite a lot of my investment in Decred as well. And I can definitely stake, and you got to teach me how to do that sometime, because I've been reading the guides, and I'm so fearful that I'm gonna misclick a button and suddenly my coins are gonna be gone.
Oh no. What operating system you're on? You're on Mac or?
I'm on Windows. Okay. Yeah. But I have a Raspberry Pi
called Prometheus. So if you just go to decred.org, it should actually auto detect what operating your system you're on, and then it'll point you to the download for whatever it is. And then you would just sign up with a pool. You transfer your funds to your wallet. Then you would you could sign up with like a stake pool, and what they'll do is they'll actually vote your tickets for you.
Awesome.
They don't actually have control of your funds because it's all multi-sig based.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is, like, if your computer's not online and they call your vote, then you can't vote. But a pool does is they basically represent your vote for you, and they cast
so
your
you can
vote.
delegate their vote to them. So, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they take like a small fee of your reward. And typically, I think most pools are around 5%, but there's some that are lower. It's like one that's like 0.1% right now. It's gaining a lot of traction because it's basically free to use. I figured that eventually this like race to zero is going to happen, and so we'll see. But I think they more operate on like donations, like donate to the pool instead of you know, we tell you what your is going to be.
How much can we get per month, by the way? I think you gave me a figure, like how much roughly can we get per month?
Yeah, so right now I think it's averaging from like 2.5% to 3%, depending on the round and what your ticket fee is. Like, that's per month on average. So what happens is, so what happens is when you stake, your ticket gets pulled into the pool. It takes like 1 day to mature. So first it'll be immature. Then after about a day, it gets pulled into the pool, and then it's random. But on average, it should vote within like 28 days. 142 days, and that's like a 0.5% chance. So like 99.5% chance that the ticket will vote, and about a 0.5% chance that it won't. And if it doesn't, it'll expire after 142 days. And when it expires, you just get your money back. You don't get the reward that comes with it.
Gotcha.
You know,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you know, you can do quite well if you are staking you know, some Decred, which is great. Like, it allows the stakeholders to, you know, earn back, and it's not like the common proof of stake system either, and a lot of people confuse it with that. I mean, it's more of like a two-factor authentication. Like, the stakeholders are basically signing off on each block as they're getting built by the proof of work miners. What they're doing is they're locking up funds for up to 142 days, and that's, you know, that for most crypto, that's 3 months or 4 months. That's a really long time.
It is. It is.
To lock your money up in crypto. So, and that's why you're rewarded right now. It's more of like a proof of sacrifice, is kind of what we call it.
Well, if you're holding, I mean, I actually hold a lot. I'm actually a big holder now because I figured out trading, it's just too much stress for me. So I just pick a few that I like, and I'm gonna hold it for a while. So that's kind of my strategy right now. So that's, you know, awesome. I'm actually do a tutorial for that because, you know, I've been doing a lot of tutorials on my channel. So you guys want to follow me and kind of pick out what I'm doing wrong, I'll probably do one. I'll probably announce on Twitter when I'm doing it, and yeah, that'll be cool. I think that'll be something that's cool for me to do.
Yeah, no, that we would love it if you. We need more proof of staking videos out there to explain to people, because a lot of people are holding Decred and don't plan on selling it, but they're a little kind of scared about staking their coins. In like August, and I was definitely scared, and then the software was a lot more buggier back then. So I mean, there used to be on the command line, you would stake all your coins, and then if you checked your balance, immediately after you staked your coins, it would say you had a zero balance.
Oh wow.
That's and a lot, it was just like, you'd scare the shit out of you, and then it would, you know, everybody's like, yeah, just wait till the next block, and then as soon as the next block came in, like, your balance would show up again. You're like, oh, thank God. And you know, it's so, but you know, for those that staked earlier on, the returns were, I mean, I think at one point it was almost like 100% in a month when it first started staking, because like the tickets were selling for like 2 or 4 DCR, and the ticket reward was like 2 DCR.
Wow, that was pretty good.
So in the early days, it was super profitable, and a lot of people don't understand the purpose either.
Yeah, are you a programmer as well? Do you have a programming background?
So yep, I'm a web developer. I do a lot of mainly front end web development, but
gotcha,
on the back end too, but primarily mainly JavaScript and HTML and CSS. And
cool. Yeah, I'll try to do that. And I don't have a programming background, so yeah. So if you guys want to follow me and see how a non-programmer does it, I've been famously saying I don't have a programming background because I do video game design. So we're on the teams that kind of look at the gameplay and how kind of the game is going rather than actually typing out code. So yeah, so that'll be quite fun. Yeah, and thanks for your support as well. You know, when I made my first video, you guys were super helpful, and especially you. You know, I think you even tipped me for making videos. So you know, thanks for that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like, you know, it's not. I don't know. In my opinion, it doesn't make a sense. Doesn't make a lot of sense if you know, if you don't try to spread the love of your currency. You know, if everybody just, you know, there's only a few holders of stuff. I really try to tip people and take care of people that, you know, are good to the community, especially because I stake. So, you know, it's just kind of sharing my earnings back with you know, the people that are part of the community. So, and yeah, speaking of which, I meant to give a shout out earlier to one of our new guys that have been doing a lot of work for us. His name's Zombie 5000. He's been doing all the art and stuff for the show, so he made that cool picture of your face.
My giant face. There it goes. Oh man.
So
whatever.
But yeah, I mean, so you know, that's really awesome that you're really a big advocate for Decred. You know, we definitely need more people out there that are speaking about the project, because you know we love, you know, I don't know. It seems like once you start learning about the project, it's just has so many holes, and you can, I mean, so many like rabbit holes and things that you can like start seeing about the potential of the project. Like, so I don't know if you know this, but so when you actually stake, you're going to be able to have the ability to vote on how the distribution of the development subsidy is going to work too.
Oh,
so
yeah. So that's like a bit like the master nodes
votes that you're using to vote on protocol changes and stuff. They're also going to be, there's going to be another layer that's not necessarily on chain, but it's anchored to the chain. And what it'll do is allow you to vote on different proposals. So you'll be able to submit a proposal, like, let's say, hey, I want to build a Decred community in China, and this is my plan, this is what I want to do, and this is how much money I need. So you would submit a proposal, and then if the proposal got approved, then people would vote for it. And so as long, you know, for you to be if you're a stakeholder, then you get to have a say in that.
That's cool.
It's similar to how the Dash system works, but I don't know if they're how their system is like technically set up.
Well, master nodes on Dash is 1,000 Dash, so to even have one vote, you gotta be putting in, you know, $150,000 in there. So I think with Decred, because you have tickets, that's going to be more democratized. You know, Dash is more centralized in that sense, and the master node owners usually own, you know, like 5-10 nodes, so they're all mega millionaires. So that's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, Dash is another very interesting project, and it's cool to see so many cool crypto projects, currency projects this year. And you know, and I definitely think, you know, Decred needs to be much higher on that list. You know, like when I was looking into it, you know, it shouldn't be on 20 something. You know, like it should definitely be top 10 material. So I really hope that that's gonna happen. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think it will. It's just, you know, matter of time. Spread the
yeah, and
you know,
it's a matter of the word, and also being aggressive with it. You know, that's another thing this year as well. You know, because I do gaming industry, and the gaming industry is very famous for just having so many games. I mean, if you look at the Steam releases, I just recently released a game on the 6th of June. On the same day, we had like 20 games being released at the same time. So you gotta build a community, and be aggressive at building that community. So
when you say gaming, do you have a separate YouTube channel for gaming, or you?
Oh, I make video games. So
I make games. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a game designer and a producer. Okay. So we have a team of 12 people working on a kind of a tower defense game. It's called Hell Waters. If you guys want to check that out, it's on Steam. So we just launched on Steam on the 6th of June. And it costs $14.99, and you guys can play it. It's a kind of cooperative tower / hero defense game.
Oh, that's awesome. That is cool. So, and then in game design, are you doing more of the art side, or kind of
so game design is all purely just on how players can behave in game. So basically, essentially imagining what would happen if you release the feature, and you know how to scale that feature. So that's why I've always had like kind of a more of like that's kind of what our job is. Our job is kind of to predict how this kind of these new code and new features can interact with the current system. And that's why I said, well, if you're with the stake pool system, game designers will realize, okay, that system is pushing towards buying cheap and letting it fall down. So that's kind of what we do. We try to make the game healthy and good in the long run.
Wow. Yeah. So are you, and being being in the cryptocurrency community, are you thinking about integrating like games in the future with crypto?
So I've been seeing that, and with so many ICOs this year, I'm just thinking of a way to make an ICO video games.
Might as well jump on the boat, right?
Exactly. You can't stop that. You can't, like, it's one of the things, a lot of people I've seen on Reddit, they've been seeing how many ICOs are going on this year and how blind people are just throwing money at new projects, and they're trying to stop it. And you have to realize you can't stop it. There's just no way. There's so many millionaires right now, crypto millionaires, just trying to throw more money into it. There's no way you can do it. You just have to join them. That's the way to go. Even this year, Kickstarter is not very popular this year, so I'm just thinking ICOs, man. That's the key word. That's how to get it. So hopefully, anyone here wants to join me on a project to start an ICO on something, contact me directly, because it's gonna be one hell of a ride.
Well, what you could do is once our proposal system's up, you could submit a proposal to build a video game, and
Awesome.
For Decred, that I guess would use some Decred token that we still don't. I think we would need that sort of stuff, but I don't know. At least maybe at accept. We don't have. I don't think you can build tokens yet on the platform. But if I'm wrong, let me know, guys. But yeah, that's stuff you could do. I think somebody wants to do a Kickstarter for Decred, and then.
Just do an ICO for it.
Yeah, exactly.
No offense.
Well, I think the other thing with all these ICOs, man, is you allow your project to kind of splinter and take on more value because now you have all these other platforms that are really dependent, and that's what we're seeing with Ethereum now. As all these projects are really becoming dependent on Ethereum. That might be good or bad in the long run. I don't know. So. But yeah, I've been a big advocate for
it's an adventure
for a long time.
It's a crypto adventure. So I hope like this year it's gonna be huge, and like I'm super excited to be in this year. I thought when I was entering it, it's too late, but it's definitely not. It's a great time to jump in, and
we're still at the early adopter phase right now.
Exactly,
a lot of people don't realize that.
Exactly.
And
so
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I think there was one topic I did want to talk about, which is advice for new people as well. So in my channel, I've always tried to offer a lot of knowledge, and I think that's probably the most important thing for cryptocurrencies right now. So if you guys are interested, I think this channel is great. I love hanging out here. I'll definitely see if I can do more with you guys in the future. This year I've been reaching out a lot more. Especially these few months of just talking to more people and trying to grow things. And everything's super positive right now, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning things I like and things I don't like. So I do share a lot of my private opinions, and of course those are private opinions after all. So I have been wrong in the past. I've sold Bitcoin at 15. So how dumb can you be for doing that?
I know a lot of people that sold lower than that. So.
Awesome. But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, new users, bringing new people into the space is really important, especially right now. With crypto growing so crazy, it's I have a lot of friends on Facebook, and I've been talking about Bitcoin for 5 years or whatever now, like publicly, with all my friends, and then now I'm getting all these messages privately, like, "Oh man, I should have listened to you, bro."
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Is it too late? I'm just like, dude, no.
No way, not yet. Awesome.
Market cap. Like, this technology is like internet groundbreaking type stuff. So we still have like a long ways to go, in my opinion, and in total crypto market cap. And we might be in an ICO bubble now, but who knows?
We might, and it's gonna be failures. And I've been saying that on my channel a lot as well. There's gonna be failures. There's gonna be projects that failed, and I've been through that before as well. With the best of intentions, moving on to a game, and maybe the game launches and doesn't succeed, and that happens. And with every market, there's going to be failures. And with every project, there's going to be failures. With even if they have the best of intentions and they try their asses off, but eventually we're going to have some crazy killer apps with this technology because it is so groundbreaking. And this year, I think it's huge for that. This is a year where you see so many things actually happening. Last year it was all like, okay, we're going to have hypothesizing. Ethereum's got some future projects planned out, but this year is actually when you actually see projects coming on live and having proper development and business teams on that. So super exciting time. And yeah, Decred as well. It's just so cool how you guys can integrate so many cool things. So I hope you guys can integrate Lightning Network quickly and just kick Bitcoin's ass because,
Well, yeah, I think Litecoin is going to be up there as being one of the first projects, and hopefully us. But I'm pretty sure Dave has already been working on it because of the positive. The votes that were coming in were so high that our developers had already started working on the integration before the vote passed. So just because it was highly likely that it was going to be integrated. So that's really awesome. I think we had Roast Beef on the podcast. He's the lead developer of the Lightning Network about 2 episodes ago. Yeah, I think it was episode 4. And he is a super, super smart guy. Talks really fast too. Awesome. You can just tell how excited he is about everything that is going on. There's going to be some really cool stuff like atomic cross-chain swaps, like being able to switch between currencies without actually having to use an exchange.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, and then the ability to do micropayments and scale. And I think there's even going to be some privacy implications that come with integrating Lightning Network. So
it's incredible. And I would definitely encourage, like, this channel is awesome. Like I will definitely try to promote the crap out of this channel soon.
We really appreciate it. And anytime you want to have somebody from our team or the project on the show to talk about Decred, we'd love to.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely do that. So I'll do a Decred special, I think, and I think that will be something that I can do maybe next week or something. I'll arrange a time with you.
Awesome. Yeah, we got to get you up and staking first.
Yes, definitely.
You got to be a stakeholder.
Definitely.
And yeah, so I don't know. I haven't been following the live view. I'm on my own right now. Does anybody from the audience have any questions? I don't know if you.
Yeah, someone did comment that it's bad that altcoin price relates so much to Bitcoin price, and it is something that's unfortunate. But Bitcoin is something you can't ignore. It's Bitcoin, for all its disadvantages, it's got the one advantage, which is name recognition, and that's not going to go away anytime this year. Getting PR, getting something into people's heads is extremely expensive. I mean, if you, I work in video games, I know, like, it costs literally $3 to get an app installed, or more to get an app installed on the iOS store, and just to get that name recognition up, and millions of dollars are thrown into advertising, and Bitcoin's got that for free. So, or at least it's got a huge name recognition, and it's not going to go away anytime this year. But I do see more projects coming on, and this year is a year where these different currencies, all currencies, are really picking up and really gaining recognition. So I'm super happy about that as well, because you got to push the technology forward.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people don't realize too, it's really difficult to get your cryptocurrency on a USD or fiat exchange. You really need a lot of volume to do it. And you need a big player like Coinbase or some of these other big exchanges to pick it up. But so that is one of the reasons why the Bitcoin price has a direct influence on the altcoin price, because everybody's trading relative to Bitcoin, unfortunately. So that'll change in the future. I think a lot more. I think what's going to happen is right now, exchanges really need banks, and in the future, banks are going to be begging for exchanges business.
Maybe, hopefully this year's the year of regulation as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to happen. I mean, there were so many bankers that were trying to get into the crypto space when I was at Consensus. I mean, I talked to saw a lot of guys from banking companies that were saying like, hey, this is definitely more of a thing now, and they're starting to take it seriously, and we'll see how it goes long run. So one thing I did want to give a shout out to is so my former co-host Daniel, or Crypto Messiah, or DBT1033 on the Slack channel. He unfortunately stepped down from community manager, and I think with that he is not going to be partaking in the show anymore. But guys, the show will still go on, and he's a really good guy. He he's, most people don't know this, but he's in college finishing his degree. He's also a straight A student, and he really wants to focus on making sure that he gets his summa cum laude or whatever it is when he graduates. And, he's still trolling in the Slack channel, and he's still around. So guys, he's not too far, and I think he's going to end up coming back eventually one day. So but yeah, just wanted to give him a shout out, and thanks for the reminder in the channel, guys. And I guess somebody wants to know, do you have any advice to sell Decred? I don't know. I wouldn't sell Decred, but that's just me.
Yeah, me neither. Not definitely not.
Not now, at least. I mean, I think I don't know where we are in market cap in terms of some of these other projects. Still blows my mind. So big road ahead, and yeah. So unless do you have anything else you want to say, or
yeah, I'm pretty okay. I do have to sleep soon. It's pretty late over here, so I do want to thank everyone for tuning in, though. Like that's pretty super awesome, and yeah, I do want to do a video about staking Decred, so I will be on Slack. So do find me. I will find you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, our Slack community is really awesome about helping people get up and running. So if you need help when you're doing it, just go to the support channel on our Slack channel.
Oh, awesome. Sure. That sounds great.
So, all right, guys. Well, I want to say thank you to all our viewers out there for joining the show. And thank you so much to Boxmining for coming on the show and teach us more about what you've been doing. And that's just amazing that you've only been around for 3 months and you're getting so much traction. And man, that is awesome. And you make some really great videos explaining stuff. I think from now on, whenever I need to know what's going on with another currency, I'm just going to go to your channel and check it out.
My stuff is very short. It's always like 5 minutes. And I thought this is a kind of cool format because, like, with 5 minutes, it's a great way to start, but it's not detailed enough to, be comprehensive. But, at least it's good to start. And, it's how you use Wikipedia. That's how when I started, Wikipedia has a lot of great links to things, but you can never quote it as academic source. And I thought, this is what I want my channel to be. I want my channel to be something like a start to your journey on X. So you want to go on ARC, then watch this 5-minute recap, and then you can go on and start understanding things. So that's kind of concept.
Yeah, and it's really nice to have somebody who is not directly involved in the projects talking about them, because it gives them a little more of a say on how they actually feel about the project, because again, guys, there's a lot of scams out there. So and it's really, I think it's nice to have a place to go and learn about stuff that where people aren't always directly involved with what's going on. So, and one of the last things I wanted to do was give a shout out to Cryptograffiti, and I usually call him Crypto Graffiti, but he I should be pronouncing his name Cryptograffiti. And I'm about to share my screen. If you guys want to buy the shirt that I'm wearing, you can go to his store on his website, which is cryptograffiti.com, and then the merchandise section. And he's got a bunch of cool stuff. He's got a bunch of Bitcoin shirts. He's been in the Bitcoin game for a long time. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Decred, Monero, decentralized shirt. These are all the logos of those. Right here. He's got this Decred ticket T-shirt, which I'm wearing. So if you guys want to support somebody in the community that is doing some cool Decred stuff, go check out his website, buy some shirts, and yeah.
Awesome. I'll check that out. Thank you guys so much for having me as well. That was cool that we got to do this cool talk, and I would love to come on in the future as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we would love to have you on. Maybe when we get some of these votes actually integrated, and there's some really cool stuff to talk about, and we can, teach some of your viewers or whatever about what's going on with the project as it keeps progressing. So.
Awesome.
All right,
awesome.
guys. We will see you next week. Hopefully, I don't know we haven't confirmed exactly who we're going to have yet, but. Hopefully we'll have another show on Sunday, assuming we can line up a guest. So thanks for joining in on the Decred Assembly, and thanks, Boxmining.
Thank you. See you next time.